Hi, Deepa. Thanks so much for being on the show today.
Such a pleasure to be on. Super excited to talk about everything that we can get our hands into today.
Oh my goodness, and what a busy schedule you have. So I'm very grateful that you've taken the time out to speak to me today. So I want to jump straight in and obviously talk about your incredible career, starting with being a beauty and fashion influencer. Is this something you always wanted to do?
To be honest, no, because I don't think a career like this existed when I was a child. So I didn't even know if it was possible. It wasn't something that I grew up knowing. But I think what I always knew I wanted to do was have some kind of impact in the world. And whether that was when I was a young kid, I thought I was going to be a doctor, as every Indian kid does. Later on, I studied law. So I thought perhaps I would do that being an international human rights lawyer. But then when social media kind of fell on my path, I figured that was the best way to put all my different kinds of loves together into one platform, and also have that flexibility of being your own boss, and having impact. So I think that's how it all came together.
How did you even get there then? If you wanted to do all these other things, you obviously came from India, moved to the Netherlands, and how did you even get to where you are today?
Ooh, so I think it all started with a very simple internship that I did at a influencer agency in Amsterdam, because I was studying here. I was doing my bachelor's here. And I think that internship kind of changed the course of my kind of career path. And that's where I learned what it was to be an influencer, because I was in that agency closing deals for, I mean, the original girls like Kiara, Ferragni, and like, the big ones who really started it out first. And so from there, I just saw this lack of representation. I was like, there is no brown girl here. Like everyone around me seems to be European or American or blonde, or, where is our South Asian representation? And I think that was the initial moment I saw a kind of big gap in the market. And I said, hey, I'm sure other brown girls want to look up to girls that look like them too. And it was that very simple thought that turned it into my first kind of goal of like, I think I can do this. I think I know enough and have enough talents in me to perhaps be a global Indian influencer. And with that, I think the whole journey began. And it's been almost 6.5, 7 years now, that, every year having clear goals and kind of achieving them and going after them. And every year it just has become more and more wild. Like I am so insanely grateful for everything that has crossed my path and all the opportunities that have presented themselves. That yeah, I think, I don't know, I couldn't bring it down to exactly how I got to where I am today, but there was many things coming together to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, such a huge inspiration for so many brown girls across, the world, even myself. And, you seem
Wow.
like you really stand for women and power of culture and, sharing your culture and your family, with your husband. We saw your wedding and seeing the mergers of two cultures, which is amazing. And why do you think it's so important for you to share these things?
Um, I think because growing up, we didn't have it. And there's so much strength and power in, having a little girl who is perhaps in Mumbai looking at her screen, to give her the right kind of inspirations for life and the right kind of role models that she can look up to are so valuable and so important. Growing up when we had ads like Fair and Lovely, or we had ads, where it showcased a very European centric version of beauty, that was pretty bad for our mental health and pretty bad for our insecurities. And to be able to have in your hand the power to change it a little bit, even if that is a very small ripple effect, that some girl somewhere can look at an image of you being proud of who you are, being proud of your culture, and just owning your identity. If that can do something to her, I think we've done our job as social media influencers with a big platform. Like I feel like there's that responsibility to do something more with it. And yeah, that's my
Yeah,
my
I mean, I
take on.
remember growing up and seeing, all the bleaching your skin and everything that people used to see in those adverts you were talking about. And it's crazy how much we've moved on and how, fair isn't always beautiful. And, it's everyone's beautiful. So you've obviously been on, which is amazing. You've been on covers of, famous magazines, India Vogue, you've been in Glamour UK. I mean, I could go on. You've done a lot. But what is it that you think gives you that edge and and makes these magazines wants to have you on their cover?
Oh, that's a really hard question for me to say it to myself. I think if you would have to boil it down to a few things. I think people really like people who, against all odds, create something for themselves. I'm one of those people who really believe you're given every single individual is born with talents, and I think your main job in your life is to maximize your talents and to do something with that. And perhaps that's what the editors in these magazines and stuff are looking for. They're looking for people to put on the cover who have a story to tell and have kind of fought against all odds to create something in their life. And I'm a very strong believer of every single day that you're here, maximize your talents, do something with the opportunities you're given, against your insecurities, against your fears, against everything, because you do have one life to live. And God's given you certain things, do stuff with that. So I think people who can share that story well and have done that are the ones these magazines want to inspire their readers with. And yeah, I would bring it down to every single person to create that own thing for themselves in their own life, because it's so much more fulfilling knowing that you go to bed every night doing the best you can that day. So yeah, that would be what I think is the
And
reason.
you're doing so much, let's talk about your brands. I mean, you've got Post for Change. Tell us what that's all about.
Post for Change is an NGO that I created with my husband. So he was a diplomat working at the Foreign Service, and he worked very closely with a lot of UN agencies. And I, of course, was from the world of social media. And I think Post for Change is that bridge or that cross point between the world of the UN organizations and all the kind of NGOs that try to do change on the ground. And they're experts on knowing how to do that. While what they're not experts at is the communication part. They don't know how to raise awareness. They're kind of always a few years behind when it comes to, jumping on things like Instagram or TikTok, or the way to really reach the youth of today. Like if you really want to reach anyone between the ages of, 16 and 35, you're not going to find them on newspapers or on TV. Like you're going to find them on social media. And so Post for Change is that bridge between using influencers and their platforms to spread awareness for causes that are being worked on by these incredible organizations. And so it was born about 3 years ago now. And we have done some incredible work with UNICEF India multiple times, raising awareness for menstrual hygiene, which, as we all know, period poverty is a big issue still in Southeast Asia. So that became one of our main dockets to work on, as well as ending colorism is something we do with another NGO called Spotlight Initiative. And we have a lot of these roundtable discussions on how colorism affected us and how we can change that for the next generation. So it's just really a beautiful passion project of mine and my husband's, where we wanted to bring our worlds together and see the kind of impact we could do with that. And the impact has been absolutely insane. Like the very first project we did with UNICEF India reached 110 million people. And since then, it was just like we realized that this was so needed. It was an idea that was so potent, that hadn't been done before, that we just knew we had to continue it. And now I'm so happy that, the pandemic is done, that we can travel again, because one of my main parts and favorite things to do with Post for Change was the influencer trips to the ground, like where we would take influencers actually to the villages where UNICEF is doing their projects, have them help out, have them, really do the workshops and like really be a part of that and spread that message. So I'm really happy we can start doing that again.
Oh, absolutely amazing. And I think, you know what, I actually do beauty pageants and I feel like you should do a beauty pageant. You literally do everything that pageant girls stand for. And it's absolutely incredible what you're doing. That's amazing. I love, love, love that. But we also need to talk about your other brand, which is your IndÈ Wild. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, I think the whole part of the name is that we want people to say it the way they want to say it. It is really a play on independent and wild. So you could say it as IndÈ Wild or Indie Wild, because it's also a touch point on India, of course.
Yeah.
And there's the wild, which is the herbs from Ayurveda, from the wild. So it's really a play on words. So yeah, you can say it however you want.
I know you've got a little accent on one of the letters, so I was like, "Oh, am I saying this right?" But so you touched on the Ayurvedic ingredients and modern chemistry is what I got from your site. So tell us a little bit about that. Why you created it? What's it? Why is it different? And why you wanted to do this?
So just purely having a brand and creating something more was something, I think I've been living with that idea of, building out a product that really stands for something more in this world. So that was already something that was kind of in my mind for many years. But the fact that it became IndÈ Wild to what it is today, I think is a lot to do with, destiny, like coming from a family of my mom being a dermatologist and an Ayurvedic doctor, and having suffered with skin issues my entire teenage years and having really learned about skincare through that. And also many times when I post skin or hair content online, people really resonated with that a lot. So all of those things combined together made me realize, okay, it has to be something in beauty, it has to be something with the knowledge I've learned, and it has to have something to do with my culture. So those three elements were always there. But I think IndÈ Wild to what it became today was of a very clear friction point I noticed that all us Desis struggle with. And the friction is that on the one side, we love our culture, we love our grandmothers, our mothers, we love our food, we love our weddings. We're very much in kind of embrace of everything that we are, our identity. But at the same time, the modern Desi women in the world, we are not our mothers and grandmothers. We want to, marry who we want to marry. We want to kind of, if we want to have sex before marriage, we're extremely modern. We're extremely, feministic, if you may. We're very much like the strong, edgy, powerful, wild ladies. And so this friction point is something I noticed a lot of, like, my Desi followers had it, I had it, and which is why IndÈ Wild is an embodiment of that friction point in a bottle. It is everything your mom and grandmother told you, which is turmeric and ashwagandha and bakuchiol, like everything that comes from our rich culture and heritage, but backed with science, backed with modern dermatology, and packaged in this beautiful way that is very modern and accessible, almost making that 5,000-year-old life science from India and making it more accessible to all of us. And that is what I think gave birth to IndÈ Wild the way it is today.
I mean, it is gorgeous. I have seen it. I can't wait to try it. It's on its way, so I'm really excited. Really excited to try that. And how do you want your customers to feel about the product? When they put it on their skin, what are they supposed to be feeling?
I think the first thing is really feeling that this is a product for them, because it was very much made with their skin in mind, our skin in mind. It was made with our concerns in mind. Like, for example, when I get a burn or like kind of scar from anything, it takes so much longer for my skin to heal because of the pigmentation compared to, say, my husband, who is Caucasian. And same with like my acne scarring. So when I had to, back in the day, create something for my skin routine, I would have to go to multiple brands and try to find products here, products there, and not knowing really if it was suited for me. And then, of course, the world of, the ordinary serums came by, where it was a lot more educational. But still, then what I had to do was get 13 different serums to put together to create a routine that would be really catered to my acne prone pigmented skin. So what IndÈ Wild is basically everything in one. So it is those 13 serums catered exactly to your skin type in one bottle. And the thing, what I love is our AM serum is very much, targeted and focused, and it's a hard hitter. While our PM, and this is to answer your question, what should your customer feel? Our PM is the most glorious kind of soothing serum that goes on at night, and it has this amazing smell of saffron. So when you use it, you feel like you have almost, mentally traveled back to exotic lands of like saffron back at home. You think of kesar, like the milk that your mom gave you. And there's a lot of touch points to emotion, but combined with self-care. And then, so the PM is very much, it puts you in the mood of like, relax, I'm going to go to bed now. While the AM is like, all right, let's get up and let's do the job for the day. So it's a good combination of the both that I think every South Asian woman needs in her skincare closet.
I mean, it sounds amazing. I can't wait to put it on and try it. Something that's for my skin is like absolutely amazing. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I have to say, obviously, you're a new mother. Huge congratulations, baby Dua, who I love to watch because she's so cute. Oh my goodness.
She is a little chunky baby, isn't she?
Oh, she's so cute, and I love it. And what do you want, her to grow up and see you as?
Um, I think I wanted to grow up to see me as maybe a little bit the way I saw my mother, that a woman could, do it all and enjoy doing it all. And also have moments of vulnerability. You don't have to always be strong and, be a super mom at everything. I think if she could get from me that, you can achieve and be anything you want to be in life, no matter where you started from, and she can create her own destiny in that way, that would be a beautiful way for her to see me. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. And so what's next for you? Is there anything that you got projects coming up that you can share with us?
I think my hands are full, I'd say, with a newborn baby and a NGO and a business. But we are currently renovating our house, which is also something I'm very excited about. But I think apart from that, just really growing IndÈ Wild, like we're launching new products this year, we're launching in new countries, we're really taking it global and becoming kind of that first brand that makes Ayurveda truly global. Like there's a lot of Ayurvedic brands in India, and there's a few brands, in the UK or in the US, but like I think making Ayurveda truly global is really a mission of IndÈ Wild, and truly accessible as well. So that's, I think, going to be the big plan for 2022.
Oh, amazing. I literally cannot wait to see all your new products, try them, and get these products out to the South Asian women and just have something for us, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you so much for your time. I love Amsterdam, so when I'm there, if I see you in the street, I am going to hello.
Like, now, I'll text you later where I live. So just please do come visit 100%. Just knock on the door. We'll have a chai.
Oh, so kind. Thank you so much. I'll let you get on with your very busy schedule, and, lots of love from over here in the UK.
Thank you so much, sweetie. Bye-bye.